Hey guys, I'm back for a bit. It's been just a crazy beginning of the year. I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to produce as many videos on an ongoing basis as I was back in like the fall and stuff like that. So you'll just have to bear with me. But yeah, I've obviously been thinking about you guys and wishing you guys the best as we all are continuing to work on inhabiting ourselves and healing ourselves and moving our lives forward and things like that. And so, yeah, I've had a series of things happen the last couple of months, and which I'll talk about in another video. But today, I think the big thing that kind of hit me was tolerance. You know, that when we grow up in a BPD family, and I think I'm going to start saying BPD family instead of just BPD moms. And the reason why is because, as I think about my own situation and I hear from you guys what you're going through, we all know it's not just our moms. It's a whole family system that's an issue. You've got their boyfriend, your dad, your siblings, your aunts, uncles. Like, it's so much more involved than just that one person, and stuff, who's affected and who's also a part of the manipulation and things like that. I just read a really cool quote that says, "It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to abuse a child." And I think that's really true in the case of BPD families, is that it's not just the mom, it's always more than that. So anyway, so there's my little explanation of that. So let's talk about tolerance. I think tolerance is a really great perspective on how to move forward and how to heal and how to live your life. You can call it boundaries too if you want to, but I feel like tolerance is great because of an explanation, because we are because what we're doing is we're learning to what degree we can handle our BPD families, and gosh, if you're like me, of course, we all grew up learning to handle the BPD drama, and and it's and our that we have this level of tolerance that's just kind of amazing compared to a lot of other people who didn't grow up the way we did, when it comes to that kind of drama and stuff, and sometimes we can just be flat out unaware that, like, it's as bad as it even is, just because we have such a high level of tolerance and stuff. But I think that if we give ourselves time, we can see how, our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our spirits are begging for us to reduce the degree of drama that we have in our lives. And that we, because, the thing is that, like, unlike our BPD mothers, fathers, whoever it is in our lives, it's, that, they have, for whatever reason, that wiring that allows them to have this level of tolerance that is definitely bigger than ours, and also that they really identify with, and is also, I think, at times a part of their identity. If I'm not in crisis and chaos, then who am I? I think that's a question that a lot of BPD people ask themselves. And so for those of us who are not that way, or are seeking treatment, who are, maybe do struggle with BPD, but you're seeking treatment, and stuff, which is awesome, and such a big applause to you from all of us out there. We learn that we are not built to handle that kind of drama. And that's where I think we have to figure out, like, how do we do that? How do we handle that? When it comes to past drama, or, how we know we're past our tolerance for the BPD drama, is stress. If your heart is suffering, from the emotional impact, if your mind is just in a negative place, if your body is being affected, if your spirit, your soul just feels devalued, then likely the level of drama that you're handling is beyond your tolerance level. And so that's where you have to figure out how to deal with that and minimize that and stuff. Because, inhabiting ourselves means that we protect and provide for our own hearts, minds, body, spirit, the freedom and the peace to thrive on a daily basis. To thrive, not to just survive. We weren't built in this life to just survive, to just eke out a life, with the hopes of pleasing our BPD families. We were built to thrive, and so that means that we take care of our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits, and so anyway, and so to what degree then do you allow stress into your life from your BPD family is a major part of your ability to move forward and ability to actually inhabit yourself, So everyone has a different level of tolerance, I would never in a million years tell everyone to go no contact like I basically have in my own life. You have to figure out what's right for you and to what degree and stuff like that, So how do you discover your tolerance level? There's a few different things that I think I've done that's helped me out in figuring out my tolerance level. First and foremost is you have to tune into yourself and be able to do that. Now, tuning into yourself, I think it happens in a lot of different ways. You can meditate, take time, and meditation is not some scary woo-woo thing, it's just simply taking time to breathe, let go of your thoughts, and just sit still. It's amazing how when you do that, you start to kind of tune in to yourself, which is cool. It might just be going to do something like go exercise, go for a hike, go play with your kids, do something to kind of, just be present with yourself, be present in the moment with yourself. I find that when you do that, that's when your heart, mind, body, spirit, man, they'll start talking to you. They'll start kind of like letting you know, how they're doing, how it's feeling, and what level of stress you've got going on and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. So being able to tune into yourself is a really big, important part of all of this. Next piece is to pick just one like dynamic event, routine, something that involves your BPD family that is a source of drama, for you in your life. Maybe it's, picking up your elderly BPD mother to take her to the doctor, every week. That's a source of drama for you, because of how things go and stuff like that. So, picking one of those things and just, to kind of what I think is what helps is to kind of go through it in your mind, go through it, and even to kind of visualize it, like see yourself in the car with your mom as your mom is making remarks and saying things, or being manipulative or something like that. Is to really visualize it and kind of give yourself a little bit of that experience, and to just then kind of watch how does your heart, mind, body, spirit react, like do you, when that's going on, like, do you feel, okay? Do you feel able to put a boundary between you and her emotionally when she's acting that way? Or do you feel like you're back to being like an 8-year-old child being chided out? how does your body feel? Like, can you sleep at night after you've spent, time with your mom? Or do you go into like insomnia, or how do you treat your family, your own friends or family? Like, after you've spent time with your mom, like, are you able to be kind and engaged and present with them, or are you bringing the stuff from hanging out with your mom out onto those people, things like that. That's how you need to watch yourself. And I think when you do, then you're going to know the answer, I mean, is if this is stress, and those are obviously, outgoing outside results of stress going on for you, then it's clear that the situation that you're a part of is not, however you're dealing with it, is not going to be in a healthy way. That it's not good for you, and that you've got to come up with some way to change that. You have to come up with some way to reduce that degree of stress in your life, and maybe it's reducing, how involved you are. Maybe you don't go with her every week. Maybe you take her just for once a month. Or maybe you confront her, which of course, it's a little rough to do for her, but maybe there's someone else who should be helping out, but isn't helping out. And so then therefore it's for you to confront that person and say, look, I really need help. This stresses me out. This isn't helpful for me. I need you to help me do these, driving mom back and forth to appointments, and then of course the last, option, of course, is to always just remove yourself from the stress completely. If you can't change it, if you can't reduce it, and, no matter what, like it's in your face, then, that's where you do have to consider, maybe maybe I'm not the one who takes mom to her appointments, so yeah. The big thing I think when it comes to then figuring out your tolerance is, I think you have to expect to experiment. You're going to have to try out different ways, because especially if you've never really, figured out how to take care of your tolerance, or to really acknowledge and honor your level of tolerance for BPD drama. You have to try different things, and it's going to be messy, and you have to allow yourself to be messy in it, like there will be times where you're like, I'm just going to be outright confrontive, and that's not going to go well, or other times when you're like, I got to remove myself from the situation, and maybe you realize, you know what, maybe I can handle it if I come back and I deal with her this way instead of what I was doing before. It's messy, and bottom line is, people, of course, in your family are going to take notice that you're doing different things, you're having different levels of tolerance. They're going to react. Of course they are. That's just part of it. But that's okay. You are still absolutely worth it. And you totally deserve to be figuring this out. Because remember, this is a skill that we were all supposed to have learned when we were growing up. Or at least a skill that we actually had in us that our parents were supposed to empower us with, and they didn't. So bottom line is, this is you kind of reparenting yourself and going, okay, I got to take care of my level of tolerance. And what does that mean? And what does that look like? That's just part of the fun, messy process of, being an adult child of a BPD. So anyway, and the other thing I really, 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 really hope that you can do is, as you're discovering your tolerance level, is that you will celebrate and congratulate yourself for caring enough to even want to do this, to care enough to go, you know what, I don't want my heart to suffer anymore. I don't want to be looking at life negatively because of, my family, I'm not going to devalue myself, you need to be giving yourself a lot of credit for that. Every effort that you make is a brave step and you should be congratulating yourself. And please share your stories. Like, seriously, like, put your stories here in the comments so that if anything, I will be more than happy to congratulate, celebrate with you what you've done. Like, seriously, it's so commendable. And I am truly honored and privileged to be a part of all of you people, and for you to be all involved in this, Inhabit Yourself channel and stuff too. So, so feel free to comment away, ask questions, provide your own recommendations and thoughts around this too. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks.